The leader that I chose is Barack Obama, America's ex-president. I think some of his traits is the high energy he had, the integrity he had in his responsibilities, the charisma he had with the people. People in America really love him. The intelligence, and not only his brain intelligence, but his emotional intelligence as well. His sensitivity to others. He was a person that was very caring and very trustworthy as well. The leadership type that I would say that Barack Obama is a transformational leader because he tried to transform America's mentality during 8 years, and he did a great job. And his personality type, I would say, it would be more green, that is steady, because he's a person that's very caring for the others, and he always puts the others in front of him when he tries to help everyone.
I chose Senator John McCain as my leader. I chose him because I think he was really integral. He defended his ideas with a lot of force and was really straightforward and believed in and defended in what he believed. I also chose him because I think he was very charismatic and he had a lot of empathy with people and knew how to communicate really well. I also believe that he did a really good job as a senator of the United States, representing the Republican Party. Although I'm not like really aligned with how they think, but I think that in general ideas he was really good doing that. Also, I think that he's a leader that led by example and by doing things first him and then asking for them others to follow him. So I think he was really transformational and inspirational for all the following generations of American politics. And I think he's an exemplar politic for everyone.
Is Tony Shea. He's the founder of the online selling shoe store called Zappos. I would describe his leadership traits as follows. He puts emphasis on being creative, which enables to find new ways of solving problems. And he also encourages his employees to be creative in order to solve problems in a different approach and an approach that was unknown before. Furthermore, this kind of creativity gives his employees more responsibility, which requires them to be leaders as well. What follows is that he's not only leading the people for the sake of his own business, but he also creates leaders themselves. As seen in Kotter's article, What Leaders Really Do, this is one of the keys of success in a very dynamic business environment, as they are able to cope with change, such as customers' change of demand of products or new kinds of competitors. And I would describe his leadership style as laissez-faire and democratic because he gives his employees the right to say what they think and do whatever they consider necessary for the well-being of the company.
I chose Antanas Mocus as my role leader. He's the former principal of Universidad Nacional in Bogotá, one of the best universities in Colombia. Also, he's a former mayor of Bogotá, and he multiple times was candidate to Colombia's presidency. I consider him as my role leader because all his actions have a purpose and a reason to create a greater good in society. Also, he managed to articulate different things to develop a better society. For example, art and maths, and politics and academy. Also, he fought against corruption, weapons, violence, with peaceful and innovative science. He changed political common tools like bulk force investments and punishments for symbolic acts like superheroes and mimes. He never gave up in his beliefs, and for this reason he managed to change Bogota's culture. That is the most important thing in a crucial period of time. Since he was a kid, he was really smart, the best in his class. He always overthinks before his actions. He can seem as an introvert person with no good speeches, but he knows he's always found people that are good at something with similar values and ethics to work with him. He's an emotional person with a high definition of justice, great negotiation capacity. He empowers his co-workers. He takes decisions by himself, but he believes in persuasion by arguments with different points of views. so he's always open to listen. So between the leaders that we chose that were
Senator John McCain,
ex-mayor of Bogota, Antanas Mockus,
The founder of Zappos is called Tony Hsieh.
and former ex-president of the United States, Barack Obama. We ended up choosing Barack Obama as our leader. He's probably one of the best traits would be the balance between the work and family, and how he showed it to the world, because of the unity he had with Michelle Obama and the importance Michelle Obama has had in his labor during presidency, and his inclusiveness of trying to care for everyone and try to be fair with all the people.
We consider Obama a very trustworthy person because whatever he says, he does it. Whenever he promises something, he is doing it. And we also consider him a very charismatic person because whenever he enters a room, everybody knows he's there because he's a very present person. He's very strong in his appearance.
also because he's really intelligent. He graduated from Harvard Law School, and he also developed one of the strongest career in senator in America. Also, when he's talking and doing his things, he's always thinking in others and putting himself in ways that he can help others to achieve their goals.
Also, to end, we also think like he has a lot of empathy. He was a really loved leader and that understood people in many cases, and that this resumes like in his emotional intelligence. We think that he really had the power to understand and to manage his feelings really well during his period as president of the United States, and that he's an example to many young people around the world to work for a better future for us.
So you start talking.
Okay, so we had the decision to choose between Kalanick and Zuckerberg, and I'm going to talk about the traits and behavior of Kalanick, the founder of Uber, and his attitude was to recognize the problem, even if it's yourself the problem. And Kalanick is also said to be quite aggressive and inspirational on the other side, because he was the guy that Uber needed at that moment to lead the company and to show them the way to get successful. And he was also controversial because he said that you should recognize the problem, but on the other hand he was a problem because he was hiding the sexual harassment in the company, and he was not doing anything about it, and he was also bullish, and his managerial grid could be described as authoritarian because he was more a guy that was putting emphasis on the task instead of the people, and for this reason he also required the people to be obedient, like he was requiring obedience from his employees.
Okay, in his leadership style, we would think that it's style based, because he's very decided and clear between what he wants, what he thinks, and what he do, and he's very eloquent in his actions, and convinced he's doing it the right way, at least until the moment he went out. He was very authoritative, and he was very well known in Silicon Valley for positioning Uber to where it's right now. His personality type, it's a mix between red and yellow, so it's dominant and influential, and some characteristics that might be found in Kalanick is that, for example, he was very direct, he was a doer, and he was an imposer as well. And for the influential, we could think that he's interactive, and he was impulsive as well.
So that's the reason that we consider that Zuckerberg is a greater leader in comparison of Kalanick.
And now we're going to talk about Zuckerberg in his traits and behavior. We talked about and we discussed about how he, at the end and nowadays, he has a higher purpose. He's a philanthropist, and he has Facebook as a mean for a bigger good. He's known to be a really dynamic person. At the beginning of Facebook, he was really like hated along the world because in part of the movie and because of the story behind Facebook. But he got to change that image, showing that he's really dynamic and that he accepts like feedback and he hears like really what people have to say to him. He's also known for being really demanding. He's really a task and people-oriented person, and he has a really cool perspective about the world. He's always one step ahead, and he's like going for new boundaries for the society. In his managerial grid, we thought he's a team manager. He's what we like, a really good leader in terms of being like concerned about the people and who is he working with. But he is also really task oriented. So that's what we think like of Zuckerberg in terms of traits and behavior and managerial style.
Also, in his personality type, he's a compliance blue because he's very analytical. He also has, behind his history in university, he has top of his class. He in Harvard. Also, we believe that he's a transformational leader because he motivates and he has a vision of the future. Like, he didn't sell the company like with multiple options like the Microsoft one, and he believed in what he's doing, and he has like facts and million people like following him because they believe in what he's selling. That is the reason that we chose Zuckerberg.